What's going on, guys? Chuck here with another awesome Blu-ray purchase. Today we're going to take a look at a new release from Vinegar Syndrome. It was part of their August releases. Pre-order early on, and it was one I saw, and I was kind of, I wasn't sure if it was good or not, but I thought it's a classic creature feature monster movie, and I just had to do it. And that is 1961's Gorgo. And this is a 4K limited edition from Vinegar Syndrome. And this is beautifully packaged. I was not expecting, I knew it was a limited edition. Obviously, I was expecting your typical slipcover and that was it, but they actually did this one really nice. So let's take a look at this nice artwork here in the front. There's your spine. There's your back artwork. And as you can see, this is one of those hard box cases, or one of their, really, they have like two-tier, from what I've seen, or like three different kinds of limited edition. They have a regular slipcover limited edition. They have this slip box kind of limited edition. Then they have like the Showgirls, which I was trying to pull up here. It's not close by. Where it is, I can't see it. Or a Roadhouse Showgirls with a big open major, release. So like those three ones. And this is very nice. And for a movie like this to get this kind of treatment, it was pretty impressive. So glad I picked this up. Now here is the slipcover. Now it took me a minute to really focus this because it's a dark image to see what exactly it was. But you can see it's the mama Gorgo and then the baby in there. And then they're underwater. Frogman, and there's like the back of them here. So yeah, it was like, I had to look at it. It's like, what exactly is that? Because it was very dark. And then there's a spine of that. Slip out. And here is the disc with reverse artwork. The other artwork on the reverse side is this image here. And this thing, besides being 4K and Blu-ray of the film, is just packed with extra features. You've got, besides the movies themselves, you got Gorgo Lives, which is film historian and cartoonist Stephen R. Bissett talking about Legacy Gorgo, which is it's like a half an hour long, very interesting exploration into how Gorgo stepped into pop culture, I guess, if you will. The different comic books he made, and knockoff comic books, different appearances the character made throughout history. It's actually pretty fascinating. You don't. Well, Gorgo, I think, is well known as far as monster movies, and at least American giant, because this is a kaiju movie made in America, more or less. And I only got to one film, but apparently it had a comic book series. There were some novelizations. The character likeness was used in other various comic books. It's a very fascinating documentary. So I mean, that was just fun to watch and listen to. And the presenter on the documentary, he has a large collection of memorabilia, which is really cool to check out. You also have The Ninth Wonder of the World, the making of Gorgo, an archival making of documentary, which goes into the history of it. And it's not from Red Shirt Pictures, so it's being archival. It's a pretty recent documentary, because I know Red Shirt used to do a lot for Scream Factory. I don't know if there was previous release from another company. Obviously, they would have done this for that, so I don't know the core history on Gorgo, but that's on there, and it's really good documentary. Also, I think it's only about a half an hour long, too, maybe about 40 minutes, to an hour. But it wasn't too long, but it's very interesting. What else you got here? Oh, it's also an extended version too. Keep that in mind. That documentary, Gorgo behind the scenes and archival making of feature. That's only like about 10 minutes long. That one really feels like it's it's kind of what the longer one is, but condensed down. Waiting for Gorgo was a short film from 2009. I didn't watch this, but it seemed like it's kind of a parody of like Waiting for Godot or something like that. So I didn't check that one out, but it's interesting. It's on here. I think there's also some behind the scenes footage from that short film on here also. And then you've got the trailer, promotional image gallery, production notes, a video gallery, lobby cards and posters. All this on a image gallery, press book, More photos, and Gorgo Monster from the Sea digital comic book. I mean, this thing is packed with special features. So I mean, it's really cool they give this kind of treatment to Gorgo. We open it up, and inside we got your 2 discs. Here's your 4K and your Blu-ray, and also an little extra special treat. You've got a little poster in here too. Let's see. Pull this out. Be careful. And you've got like a little diagram of Gorgo or Gorgosaurus or whatever we're calling it. It's pretty cool. And on the back you have that slipcover image, and it's full, and it's kind of, again, being dark, it's kind of hard to really see it, but you can tell it's the Mama Gorgo and Baby Gorgo. So that's kind of neat little added bonus to the pack. If I can fold this now. Yeah. I'll figure this out in a minute. As far as the film goes, I did watch the 4K, and it looks great. However, I think, and again, I'm not an expert on that, but I think where the 4K kind of overdoes its job, I think, is anything related to blue screen, because the matte lines really stand out. I mean, when you can tell when something's behind a blue screen, all you see around that image is a blue matte line surrounding that image, and it just sticks out like a sore thumb. Now, I don't know if that is true as well on the the Blu-ray, because I want to watch the 4K version. And the special features that I saw were on the Blu-ray, and they showed those scenes, and they weren't as noticeable. But again, that could be special features. The film itself was probably, obviously rendered up as well, so it may be there, but may not be a problem. But yeah, on the 4K, that was the one distraction from it. I mean, it looked good. It's just got a mono soundtrack, but it looks good. It sounded good. The only thing is those blue screen shots were just stuck out like a really bad sore thumb because of that the matte lines around whoever was in front of a blue screen. I mean, they're really, really prominent, because they're also like, blue, and they're like kind of like really fuzzy. So yeah, like I said, they will kind of really pull you out. But aside from that, the image itself is great all around, and it's a great presentation for Gorgo. And it is a really great release from Vinegar Syndrome. And it's cool to see these kind of monster movies get this kind of treatment that's not named Godzilla. And this is the first time I'd seen Gorgo. I know it was on Mystery Science Theater, I think during their last season of their original run on Sci-Fi. I do have that, I believe, on their collection, but I haven't had a chance. That's one I never got to watch. It was kind of late in the years. I missed a lot of those. So this was the first time I've seen it. And actually kind of fun to go back and watch that with Riffing, having seen the original film. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was it's a quickly paced movie. It's also it's a cross between Godzilla and King Kong. Really, there's a lot of King Kong influence throughout this, obviously, and obviously Godzilla especially. I mean, creature stolen or taking my man, show off in the real world, King Kong. Creature coming into the city, destroying everything, Godzilla. There you go. But still, it's like I said, it's kind of an American kaiju, as opposed to what you're seeing. And I can't think of too many well-known. I mean, well, there are a lot of well-known monster movies in America, obviously, but this is more, like I said, from what I know, the closest of that kind of kaiju influence as far as American monster movies go that you can get. So yeah, Gorgo, Vinegar Syndrome, 4K, Blu-ray combo, excellent. Like I said, the only downside were those blue matte lines, but if you can get around that, it's not that big a deal. The film looks and sounds great. It's a fantastic presentation from Vinegar Syndrome. These are limited. I pre-ordered this when it came out. I'm not sure how many. I think there's still some available if you go there now, depending on when I post this. So if you like these kind of movies, if you're a fan of Gorgo and you haven't picked this up, I definitely recommend. This is probably the best this is good movie's going to look. I don't know what more they can do. I know it's had a lot of other releases from watching that documentary. He's also guy also talks about some of the VHS and Laserdisc releases they've had in the past, but this is a fantastic release. I highly recommend picking up Gorgo 4K for Vinegar Syndrome. So that is it for this quick one. If you enjoy this, click thumbs up, share, subscribe, leave me a comment below. Let me know if you've picked up Gorgo, if you've seen Gorgo, what are your thoughts on it? Or just say hi. I'll always take hi. So until next time, this is Chuck saying I will see you on the other side.